Each year, the City Club is pleased to present these high school debate championships with the regular high school student program and youth forum are part of a significant and continuing commitment to the youth of our community. We can all be very proud of these remarkable young people, and the City Club is delighted to give this program the full forum treatment with radio and television broadcasts so the entire greater Cleveland area can share in the celebration of their intellect and talent. Good afternoon. My name is John Parker. I am a partner with the law firm of Baker & Hostetler. For many years, Baker & Hostetler has been honored to support the high school debate championship held here at the City Club. And since 1995, we have done so in honor of our late partner, Pat Jordan. And for most of those years, I have been privileged to introduce the debate. I can tell you that in all of those 18 years, this is the first time the City Club has ever trusted me to ring the gong. So I am particularly honored today, although I also have to tell you that the president of the City Club, my partner Hewitt Shaw, couldn't be here today. So I think that's why the job fell to me. You know, it's a really great weekend to be in Cleveland. We've got a lot going on. We have the MAC tournament going on over at Quicken Loans Arena. We have the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Sunday, and for me as a former high school and college debater, it is particularly a pleasure to be here to introduce the High School Debate Championship here at the City Club. Baker & Hostetler is pleased to sponsor this debate in memory of our late partner, Pat Jordan. And we're honored particularly to have members of his family here today, including his mother, Nora, and his wife, Sharon. Because Pat, like these high school debaters, really typify the things that Baker & Hostetler finds very, very important to cultivate in our young people. And so we are truly pleased to be able to do this. I understand that Russell Cohn from Hawkins School is going to now present to you the rules and the topic that our debaters will be engaging in today. Thank you. Russ.
Thank you. On behalf of all of the debaters, coaches, and judges here today, as well as the Cleveland debate community at large, I would like to offer our sincere thanks to the City Club for its continual support of high school forensics over the years. For some 30 years now, the club has been generous enough to host the season finals and debate. I also know I speak for everyone here when I express our immense gratitude to Baker Hostetler, which has sponsored this championship for over 15 years in memory of partner Patrick J. Jordan, a highly respected trial lawyer at the firm who died in 1995. As a student at St. Ignatius High School, Mr. Jordan himself was a very successful policy debater, and his colleagues have generously chosen to support this event in honor of his passion for debate and to highlight the students who demonstrate the skills and qualities for which he was known. While I never had the honor of meeting Mr. Jordan, I have worked with his daughter Anne in various activities over the years, including speech and debate, and I know that if she is anything like him, then he was a very cool guy. Thank you so much to everyone at Baker Hostetler for giving debate this moment in the spotlight. It is an activity that has touched the lives of thousands of Cleveland area teens over the years and hopefully will inspire countless more over the years to come. For those of you out there who are not familiar with the incredible impact of debate, think of it like this. For what other commitment do masses of 14 through 18-year-olds wake up at 6 in the morning on a Saturday to spend the entire day dressed up in suits stuck inside a faraway high school? That takes inspiration. Today's debate has a panel of 3 judges. Mark McCandless, a regular judge and the longtime coach at Brecksville. Mike Wool, also a frequent judge and now coach at Solon. And Avery Friedman, a nationally recognized civil rights lawyer, law professor, and legal analyst for CNN. We thank them all for their service to debate in the community and are glad that they are here with us today. Serving as timekeeper will be Sophie Wood, a senior from Magnificat, and providing radio commentary will be senior Brenna Scully from Hathaway Brown. Both of these girls were state qualifiers in Lincoln Douglas debate this year and have had long, impressive careers. The 2 debaters sitting before you on stage are both incredibly talented and have worked very hard to get here. In fact, I can tell you firsthand how strong they are, as they were my 2 losses in the tournament to qualify for this final round. On the affirmative side is Victor Mezacapa, a junior from University School, coached by Mr. Peter Pake and Mr. James Lewis. He is the defending champion of the City Club debate, a 2-time qualifier for the national tournament, and this year reached the finals in the state debate tournament. On the negative side is Lisa Peng, a junior from Laurel School, coached by Mr. Richard Kowalik, Mr. Chris Dalton, and Mr. David Houston. She also qualified to nationals this year, and she reached the quarterfinal round in the state tournament. This is a Lincoln-Douglas debate, which means that the competitors must evaluate current political and social issues through a values-based lens. Resolutions in LD look beyond simply the benefits or effectiveness of policies and mandates, but at their fundamental morality and justice. Each debater will present a value which they claim is the ultimate good to be achieved in the context of the round. A value criterion, a way of clearly measuring who best achieves that value, and a constructive, which explains how their side best meets the burdens of the value criterion. Each debater has a chance to cross-examine the other after their case is initially presented, and they also have opportunities to rebut their opponent's points. Both sides have an equal amount of speaking, cross-examining, and preparation time, but the affirmative has the advantage of speaking first and last, while the negative advantage comes from longer speeches. The resolution for today's debate will be resolved. The United States is justified in intervening in the internal political processes of other countries to attempt to stop human rights abuses. Congratulations to both debaters on reaching this round today. It has been an honor to be your friend and fellow competitor over these past years. Now, if everyone is ready, let the debate begin.
Okay. To begin, it's customary that I do thank everyone who helped me get to this point, which is impossible in the time that you guys are all willing to spend listening. But I'd like to thank first my teammates and my school, the administration, and my friends that do Lincoln-Douglas debate with me, that support me. All my late-night phone calls with team members, including Gabe Kaufman especially, have helped me make important insights into what discussion is about and things like the meaning of life, which should never be discussed at 2 a.m. The other thank yous I want to extend are to Will Henry, who helps me every year prepare the best arguments in conjunction with my regular coaches, Mr. Lewis and Mr. Pake, who have really unending support for the event and a real passion for engaging in discussion. And then, of course, the administration at our school, which makes it possible for us to do debate, and my family, who is always there every time I turn around, even when I don't necessarily expect them. So with that said, let's begin. I affirm the resolution. Resolved, the U.S. is justified in intervening in the internal political processes of other countries to attempt to stop human rights abuses. To clarify our discussion, I'd like to offer the following observation. First, when we talk about intervening in internal political processes, it should be clear that there are many ways to carry out that intervention. The United States has a vast array of foreign policy tools at its disposal. For any specific intervention, it can tailor its approach to the most appropriate in that one instance. No one is suggesting that the U.S. go to war over every violation of human rights or use any other blanket response to abuses. That being said, the value is justice for two reasons. First, giving each his due is paramount in any debate about rights or what people deserve. Second, justice is paramount in all discussions of state action, because every government must balance competing claims to rights, which is doing justice. The value criterion for the round will be the protection of liberty. Preserving freedom is of primary concern, first because it is an inalienable right of every individual, but secondly, and perhaps more importantly, in the context of the state, because freedom is the fundamental ability to choose and take action. And after all, we're discussing the actions that the United States government ought to choose and take. My first contention is that the act of intervening allows the United States to express its disapproval with violations of human rights. The first subpoint under this contention is that regardless of how it plays out or how successful it is, intervention represents a fundamental rejection of the most horrific of human rights abuses, such as genocide or slavery. Intervening in situations which represent such atrocities reflects the U.S.'s firm belief that they are immoral. The very act of intervention is justified then because it has intrinsic value. It is the only way for us to meaningfully send the moral message that violations of human rights are morally repugnant and impermissible in the international community. The second subpoint under this contention is that affirming the resolution prevents the U.S. from giving tacit approval to atrocities. Without the freedom to intervene in international politics, the U.S. has no meaningful way to show its disapproval for violations of human rights. By not intervening, by not taking action against violations, by not sending a message, the U.S. tacitly approves of egregious violations of human rights. Affirming the resolution allows us to avoid the moral culpability of standing by and passively enabling violations of human rights. Thus, in conclusion to this contention, the very act of intervention promotes liberty and is thus justified because it allows the U.S. to express its rejection of the most grave of atrocities, crimes against humanity, and also because it avoids the moral culpability of giving tacit approval. My second contention is that the effects of intervening against abuses of human rights promote liberty as compared to the alternatives. The first subpoint is that intervention promotes liberty and human rights abroad. Since 1995, the world has seen a very impressive series of successes of humanitarian intervention against dictatorial rulers. Through Operation Deliberate Force in Bosnia in 1995, intervention against Slobodan Milosevic in the 1990s Serbia conflict, and in the intervention efforts in East Timor, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Ivory Coast, we can see that intervention has experienced tremendous successes in reducing conflict worldwide in recent decades. In every one of the efforts I just mentioned, the intervening nations were met with bitter resistance. And in every one of the efforts I just mentioned, they nevertheless reduced oppression, eliminated systematic violations of human rights, and ended regimes that believed they had a right to abuse civilians. Humanitarian interventions also force would-be abusers to divert resources away from defending them or toward defending themselves, meaning that intervention saves lives even when it's not immediately wildly successful. The second subpoint under this contention is that failure to intervene propagates human rights abuses. Between 1992 and 1995, there were several multilateral efforts to intervene into unstable regions around the world. 3 in particular, in Somalia, in Rwanda, and in the former Yugoslavia, show the detriments of giving up on intervention and leaving conflict to sort itself out. In Somalia, American troops encountered resistance that led to the deaths of soldiers. According to John Western, a professor of foreign relations, a five-college professor of foreign relations, describing the American response to the incident, quote, facing domestic pressures and lacking a strategic objective, President Bill Clinton quickly withdrew U.S. troops. The UN soon followed, and Somalia was left to suffer in a civil war that continues to this day, end quote. The story went much the same way in Rwanda. Hutu extremists drew lessons from the faint-hearted international response in Somalia and killed 10 Belgian peacekeepers to induce the Belgian-led UN force to pull out. Sure enough, most of the peacekeepers withdrew, and as more than 500,000 civilians were killed in a matter of months, the international community failed to act. It's clear that when the U.S. and the other members of the international community decide to intervene, lives are saved and oppressive regimes are toppled. When we failed to act, the atrocities only continue. So because I value our liberty to express our opinion on the international politics, and because by doing humanitarian